What's going on, YouTube? This is your boy Andre back again with the next NBA awards for my choices. Of course, we're looking at the Six Men of the Year award. So let's explain a little bit what does the Six Men of the Year entails. Throughout the league history of the NBA, the sixth man is usually the first guy that comes off the bench, and he brings something extra to the team, whether that's more scoring, whether that's elite defense, whether that's high energy, crazy impact, something that impacts usually the winning team is what end up happening. We've seen throughout the history of the league of great six mans, Manu Ginobili, Jamal Crawford, of course, Lou Will. We've seen many players came into their own as an elite six man. But, but, this year it's a little bit different. You know, we have a little bit of a kind of a three-way battle royale for that Six Man of the Year award. We have Norman Powell from the Los Angeles Clippers. We have Malik Monk from the Sacramento Kings, and we have Naz Reid of the Minnesota Timberwolves. So if we break down all three of them and what they provided to each team, I can give you my answer here soon. So let's take a look at Naz Reid. Naz Reid is, I think he's a combo. He's a center slash power forward slash center that played for the Timberwolves. He brings a lot. He brings everything that you would want in your modern day backup centers. Backup centers. He can rebound. He can score. He can hit the mid range. He stretched the ball out to the 3-point line. He can hit his free throws. He plays some good defense. Naz Reid is really nice, and I think I think with Karl-Anthony Towns going down this year, I think a lot of people start seeing more value what Naz Reid was bringing off that bench. Now, I'm not too sure how many games he started this year, so he could find himself removed from the Six Men of the Year awards, depending on, because I know there's a certain amount of games you got to play as a starter to no longer be considered a six man. And I'm not too sure how many minutes that Naz Reid actually has been playing and how long he's been starting. So he might find himself out. But shout out to Naz Reid. I mean, the Minnesota Timberwolves did pay him some good money this past off season or so, and I was like, good. That's a really good man to have. I really wish we had him on the Thunder, but you know what I mean. I ain't gonna go too much on my Thunder, but excellent player. I think he's very underrated at times, and I think he's one of those backups, probably, arguably the best backup center in the league. Arguably. Next up, we're gonna take a look at Norman Powell for the Los Angeles Clippers. Quite honestly, I didn't know he was the sixth man coming off the Clippers. I guess that's the difference is when Russell Westbrook is no longer the sixth man, because I was actually pushing for sixth man of the year Russ, but apparently it's Norman Powell nowadays. So okay, shout out to Norman Powell. I think Norman Powell brings everything you wanted to bring. Some pretty much needed scoring off the bench more than anything. He brings scoring. He can bring some defense off the bench for the Los Angeles Clippers. He keep the energy up. My thing for me is I was like, quite honestly, I always felt like as though he wasn't the sixth man. I thought he was more of the seventh man coming off the bench, in my personal opinion. But I guess not. I guess not. I would have if it was Russell Westbrook, I would have a better argument here. But you know what I'm saying? The man's 30 years old. He's coming off the bench. He's playing his role well. He's doing as much as he can with the most of the team and most of the defense and the opposing team are focused on Kawhi Leonard, Paul George, and James Harden. So it's good that he's also hitting what is it, close to 50% on catch and shoot threes, triples, I think, this year. I think off the top of my head. I ain't gonna remember that, but I think he's solid. Definitely a definition of a bench player that you kind of want, in my personal opinion. But the winner of this award for me, of course, it's kind of easy. It's kind of easy work, quite honestly. It's Malik Monk. Last year tells me it was Malik Monk because he was coming off the bench, high crazy scoring games, especially in the wars against the Clippers when he was coming in and dropping what was a 40 piece or 50 piece or something like that with De'Aaron Fox against the Clippers last year in that crazy overtime, or was it double overtime. Malik Monk has always been an elite scorer, and I think it just took him to the Kings to figure out that, oh yeah, I'm perfect for off the bench type situations, right? And with bringing in 15 points per game, dishing out 5 assists, and he just being that other that he's and he when he gets hot, it's like that other guard that when Darren Fox doesn't have him going to something, they can lean on Malik Monk to bring in some more scoring for them. I also believe that I also believe that his style mixed so well with the Kings that it works so well with them that he thrives in the 6 man role. And it's right now. I mean, it's hard for me not to say, that's definitely the 6 man of the year in my personal opinion. That's definitely 6 man of the year. And while the other two have a great argument, for me, I think he's been 6 man for a little while. Like I said, if it was Russell Westbrook instead of Norman Powell, I'll have a bigger argument saying Russell Westbrook to push my Russell Westbrook agenda. But I can't do that right now. I have to be for real. So yeah, I think Malik Monk got it. I think if I had to put it in order, give me Malik Monk as the 6 man of the year, give me Nas Reed as second, and then Norman Powell's third. Three good players, three good, really good rotational players that I think any team will love to have at any point in time, especially in this playoffs runs. We're gonna definitely see how they help their teams out in the playoffs. We'll definitely see the real impact. But Malik Monk is the 6 man of the year for me. Who you guys the 6 man of the year this year? Hit the like, comment, and subscribe, and I will catch you guys on the next NBA Awards.